Thank you. Good morning. Fortunately, I talk loud for a living, so I don't think it'll be a problem. I'm Jerry Greiman, Board Chair of the Jewish Federation of St. Louis, and I want to thank all of you for joining us here this morning at our ceremonial groundbreaking. As you know from walking in here this morning, this really is only ceremonial, as the ground has already been broken, as have a few walls. But ceremonies are important to mark a moment of time and provide points of reflection and inflection. And today's ceremony marks an inflection point from the past 35 years to decades into the future. The renovations we are honoring today would not have been possible had the Coppola family not made a generous investment in our community over 35 years ago. I also want to acknowledge that here with us this morning is Harris Frank, who was the board president at the time of the building. And Harris has assured me that getting this building done was a walk in the park, no problem at all. When the Federation moved here in the early 1980s, the Jewish community had only recently moved west past Lindbergh. The legacy the Coppola gift gave to our community was to make the Jewish communal campus that much more central to the life of the St. Louis Jewish community. The Millstone campus had been purchased in the early 1960s, and the JCC already was here. Covenant Place was built in the 1970s, and when the Federation moved, it completed a real working campus for the Jewish community. Well, almost completed it. Jewish Family and Children's Services, JF and CS, would join the neighborhood a few years later. The Jewish Light used to be located here, as did Cage, and we used to be the satellite office for the St. Louis chapter of Hadassah. In 1994, we built out a new platform for the St. Louis Holocaust Museum and Learning Center. And the Coppola building has housed the administrative offices of the naturally occurring retirement community since 2004. Of course, the Brodsky Library also is here. The Office of the St. Louis Jewish War Veterans is located here in the Coppola building. Though this is not widely known, the Jewish War Veterans chapter actually owns its space, essentially having a condominium it purchased in order to help our community build the building. The Coppola building has lasted and weathered well, thanks again to the Coppola family gift. The gift was the most significant to that point in Federation's history. I want to thank the Coppola family, some of whom are here with us today and who you'll be hearing from later this morning, for their vision and investment. Please join me. "35 years is a long time. The Coppola building has hosted thousands of meetings, hundreds of events and programs, and seen scores of individuals make significant contributions as Jewish professionals and volunteers. But time takes its toll. A cosmetic renovation was done a bit over a decade ago that helped keep the building in reasonably good shape. But in the last few years, it has become clear that a more permanent and lasting fix is needed. Andrew will be going through the plans a bit later this morning, but I want to outline the three main reasons why we decided to move forward with this renovation. First, we need to provide more reliable security for our building in a manner that maintains its warm and welcoming feeling. One improvement you will see on that score is a widened atrium with a large vestibule so we can welcome people out of the elements and still maintain a secure environment. There are other improvements being made that you won't be able to see, but will result in a more secure facility. Second, we're investing in significant upgrades to make the space more accessible for all people. Most significantly, we will be making our restrooms ADA compliant and creating a family restroom that can be used by anyone. Third, we have core systems that need to be replaced. For example, the hydraulic system for the elevator is leaking and can't be repaired. And we have a kitchen that hasn't been functional for many years, making it a challenge to host the many catered meetings we do. Also, we're moving the elevator so that it can serve all three floors, thereby improving the accessibility of the Holocaust Museum. Given the extensive infrastructure and security work we are doing, We also felt it was important and appropriate to invest in improving the feel of the open spaces from a community and welcoming standpoint. The work in that regard includes installing an open stairway and making what was the Zerensky Conference Center a more open, bright, and appealing space. We also will be creating a larger, more formal boardroom-type space to convene community meetings. While we've known for many years that this renovation was necessary, the decision to move forward with it was not taken lightly. The project will cost about $3.8 million, and of course, the community has multiple other needs. But we're convinced that this is the right thing to do. We also wanted to make sure that this was the right location for the Federation. And with the renovation of the JCC and Covenant Place and the continued vibrancy of JF and CS, the Millstone Jewish Community Campus could not be a more appropriate location for Federation, which is the central planning, philanthropic, and service organization for our community. Notwithstanding the pressing need for the renovations we honor here today, we could not move forward with them until we found visionary philanthropic people who recognize the important role physical spaces play in the lifeblood of our community. We had to wait. But today our wait is over. We can now move forward because of the vision and leadership of certain individuals. I want to recognize first the extraordinary leadership gift by Gloria Feldman that has enabled this project to move forward. Gloria, your gift ensures that this building and all the programs carried on within it will continue for generations to come. And your vision, leadership, and generosity allow the Federation to move beyond its present horizons in that you've provided a foundational gift for complete renovation and reconstruction of the Holocaust Museum. Because of your philanthropy, we are looking at adding significantly to the museum from what it exists now. The addition, the second, to the building will allow us to continue to tell the story of the Holocaust, a story that is increasingly difficult to tell as survivors pass away. We are only in the beginning stages of the renovation project on the museum, and Andrew will tell us a little more about the preliminary plans in a moment. But Gloria, I can tell you now that in recognition for what your gift has enabled, we will be naming the renovated building the Reuben and Gloria Kaplan Feldman Complex. Thank you. We Jews are people for whom continuity is important. It helps us recognize who we are and where we came from. Accordingly, I want to announce today that in recognition of the long association of the Koplow name with this building and the original Koplow family gift, again, it was the largest single gift to the Federation up to that time, the Koplow name will remain a prominent part of this building. And Andrew will talk a little bit more about the specifics in his presentation. Thankfully, leadership like Gloria's does not occur in a vacuum. The project also is being supported by a second lead gift from the Steinberg Family Foundation. And the Steinbergs have not just invested their philanthropic dollars in the project. Michael Steinberg also has provided his experience and his time helping us plan responsibly for a project that will be transformational for our community. And I want to acknowledge that it was Michael's leadership that helped provide encouragement and support for Gloria's decision to invest in this project and our community. So Michael and Carol, in recognition of your leadership and generosity, we will be naming the newly renovated atrium of the Kaplan Feldman Complex the Steinberg Family Atrium. We expect that this space will be a hub for community activity. I also want to thank Ken and Nancy Kransberg for their gift that helped us reach the funding threshold our board set in order for this project to move forward. Their significant support allowed us to get started in a timely way, and we will be looking at places in the building to honor and recognize their contribution. Please join me in thanking Chairman Wilson. The project we are undertaking today is the result of a wide range of leadership. I have the honor of introducing the program today because my current role is board chair of the Federation, but the hard work of this project really has been done by the lay and professional leadership who have long been working on its planning and execution. Those leaders include Michael Steinberg as chair of the Renovation Committee, along with its members, Gloria Feldman, Ted Isaacs, Marcy Rosenberg, Harvey Wallace, Mark Zarensky, and Greg Yawitz. Additionally, Ted Isaacs and Myrna Meyer have been leading the Holocaust Museum and Learning Center renovation planning. And special thanks go to Harvey Wallace, our immediate past board chair. Harvey provided the leadership and stewardship of our donors and our board to make sure the project could get started and move forward during his term. And indeed, it could and did. Finally, essential further leadership on this project has come from our President and CEO, Andrew Rayfeld, and our Chief Operating Officer, Don Hannon, who have provided countless hours of work and valuable insights to the project. Please join me in thanking all of these lay and professional leaders for their contributions. In our remaining time this morning, we have a meaningful program for you, including hearing from the Koppelo family, Michael Steinberg and Gloria Feldman, and a presentation by Andrew and I believe Curtis also, our architect, about the plans for the building. We will begin with a brief Devar Torah from Rabbi Tracy Nathan, senior educator of Federation's Center for Jewish Learning. After that, I've asked Andrew to moderate the rest of the program. Following the program, I hope you will all join us in the atrium for some pictures and refreshments, and also take a look at the current state of the construction. Again, thank you all for being here. Rabbi Nathan.